I'm just having this revelation that the pharmaceutical companies are the most aware of the power of belief. Now, and that's because they have to test all of their drugs against the power of belief. So they give you a sugar pill and they say, this is the outcome we expect. And because you believe that that's what that pill does, you actually have that experience. And now placebo can work, pretty drastically in a lot of cases. And actually, I think it's even cured some things, the power of belief. But so keeping that in mind, I believe my whole life saturated fat was terrible for you and that plants were the way to go. And I lived my whole life sick. I mean, just debilitating problems like migraines and anxiety and depression and insomnia and high blood pressure and all this stuff. I mean, and the list goes on. And I believed that vegetables were good for me. I believed that meat was probably bad because we were told that our whole lives. And so anyway, one day I end up hearing Jordan Peterson talking about the carnivore diet, and I'm like, well, this is a pretty smart guy. And he did it, and he's getting all this relief. And, my migraines were so bad, I was like, well, if I could just get a little relief from my migraine, because it was getting really bad. And so I did it thinking, even if it kills me, at least I won't have migraines. So I do it, and every single thing got better. So here's the interesting part, though. I believed that this might kill me. But, you can believe that gravity doesn't exist, it still exists. So laws are unchangeable, regardless of belief. You can believe whatever you want in regard to a natural law of the universe, and you cannot counteract it, but you can believe things in your body and have an effect on it. But all this to say, I believed that meat was bad for me, but because it is a law that it is good for me, I improved, and everything got better as a result. And so tracking back to the medical field, and I don't mean to demonize the medical field, but definitely the pharmaceutical industry, they know full well how powerful belief is because they have to test everything against it. So, and if you knew that a person's beliefs could impact their health, and you knew that plants were actually bad for them, that's exactly what you would do. You would get them to believe that meat is bad for them, to abstain from it, and then now their body doesn't have this natural thing that actually is good for you, and you're in a constant disease state because of that. And they have to be aware of that because they know how well belief works. And once you understand that, it's a perpetual cycle. It's the snake eating its own tail of just disease and illness over and over. But yeah, just something this is just hitting me like a train right now. That it's impossible it was by accident. Like if you look into Dr. Kellogg's and these Seventh-day Adventists who push their plant-based diet, the whole purpose of the plants was to actually lower our sex hormones to get rid of our lustful desires. And so from the beginning, the premise wasn't about godliness or spirituality, or a prophetess of Kellogg's actually had said that God had spoken to her. And now we're getting in the weeds. But anyway, they invented this diet and they built this infrastructure around sugar and agriculture, and they made it so big that they had to keep this idea going, that we have to eat plants. And then if you look into the people who are doing the studies for these dietary standards, it's Coca-Cola, Nabisco, Kraft. These are the people who are funding the research for what we're supposed to be eating, and we don't think they're a little biased? Yeah, I don't know. We got to wake up, people.